Protect yourselves at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Let's do it.
Physical strength as well as some boxing skills to hold him off.
Daniel Ponce de Leon, like a Kassim Uma or an Edison Miranda, has one of those amazing personal stories that just causes you to shake your head and prosper, to become perhaps the hardest punching, but against fighters of lesser quality. Larry points out the obvious intricacy in tonight's matchup. Peñalosa, 58.
Gerry is fighting a very smart fight, too. He's staying real tight defense and not giving him much to punch at, but somewhere along the line, he's going to have to open up somewhere. Seems like just those body punches to the ribs is hurting right now. They made to weight, but one guy's naturally about one.
Hard left hand to the body by Ponce de Leon.
Peñalosa is an extremely poised veteran. You can, with heavier weapons.
Stewart points out he's got a good tight defense around his head. But to Ponce de Leon's credit, he's looking for the body as a result of that. Fire a combination of his own.
But Pacquiao's good nature where money is concerned.
And watching Ponce de Leon just swing away like that, ready for somebody like Rafael Marquez.
But swinging those wide punches like that.
On the other hand, Peñalosa is going to have to take a lot of stuff to the body
without getting tired and fatigued.
You wonder if at some point Mario Morales, the trainer for Daniel Ponce de Leon, can reel his fighter into a tighter envelope, because there's a great counter right hand by Gerry Peñalosa, and that's what I mean by being able to pot shot.
And then he needs to punch through the middle, but he doesn't do that because he's still a much bigger man, and even though he's blocking a lot of those punches,
he seems a little bit more relaxed. The more relaxed he is, the more often he's able to do that. Hard right hand for Peñalosa, countering Ponce de Leon, defending. Between rounds a little while ago, Larry Merchant was able to go and have a conversation with the very thoughtful Juan Manuel Marquez, landing one more punch, 20, throwing only 42, much more precise and economical. Harold Letterman, how do you have it through three?
Okay, Jim, I'm going to stop rooting for or voting for the smaller guy. 29-28, 2 rounds to 1. Gerry Peñalosa. He lands with the left and he lands combinations. On the other hand, Daniel Ponce de Leon
desired to try to win a fight, because he's aggressive, he's throwing punches, he seems to be more excited about what he's doing, putting more effort, even though they may not be landing that clean.
And he sees that head hunting is very difficult against a smart, elusive, head-moving fighter.
It was interesting during the fighters' meeting. Juan Manuel did all of the talking almost himself. I think it was only about 2 times that he had to have an interpreter.
Well, when they want to speak Spanish, and Marco Antonio Barrera went years without speaking English to us. Now he's far more relaxed and comfortable and insists on trying to do it all the time. But the bottom line is to speak English isn't quite there yet in terms of his confidence.
Had to make after the second and third round.
Obviously felt as though he was going to land something big and knock the much smaller Gerry Peñalosa out early. That's what he's trying to continue to do in the 5th round. He did in round 1.
He'll relax him a little bit more.
A bigger upside than we know if he's able to make.
Solid left hand up the middle by Gerry Peñalosa. It also shows there's plenty of time. You know, he's 25 years old, talking now about wanting chances at fighting Rafael Marquez or Israel Vasquez or fighters like that. I said 25, he's 26. 1980. They're on this year.
Walking forward now.
You never know who's winning on the scorecard. The busier fighter is Ponce de Leon still.
The 5th round comes to a close, and the fight gets more interesting with each passing minute. We're going to show you a conversation that Larry taped just a short time ago with Marco Antonio Barrera, and this time, as we discussed, better rounded, more representative citizen in the sport than Marco Antonio Barrera, and incidentally, Juan Manuel Marquez is exactly the same kind of guy.
Yes.
It's a Shane Mosley, who is also a part of Golden Boy Promotions, as Barrera is.
And these guys are not leaving boxing, whatever, but they're going to be contributing back to boxing, which I think is great.
Enriching the sport.
50 fighters in his gym in Mexico City, 15 of them professionals.
And 15 amateurs. Yep.
Watch your heads.
Incidentally, he's, which he's attending.
Meanwhile, De Leon is doing a really good job here.
He really is.
You know, it's...
De Leon has begun to adopt the mentality of slowly chopping down a tree. He's still getting hit. There's a war of wills as to who gets to go forward and who goes backward. So they're circling each other in the center of the ring.
He absorbed those punches and still sets the pace. He's still
and trade with each other now. This is an entirely new incarnation in a fight which has shown you 3 or 4 different variations. And now Peñalosa backs Ponce de Leon up by landing 2 or 3 solid shots to the head. 152 punches in 3 minutes. That's 50 punches per minute. He landed 32 of them. Peñalosa 18 out of 44.
22-pounder, and he comes out, and as you see right here, he turns it on in that last minute, trying to steal a round. Win the last 3 rounds. He's ahead 58, 56, 4 rounds to 2.
Something like that.
God is so busy, and he's always punching, always doing something. Still enough to make it.
What a good little fighter Peñalosa is.
CompuBox maestro Bob Canobio.
We ought to also note.
And we're fighting in the 122-pound weight class here. And I've mentioned, hey, that's ruled a slip. Although the body shot seemed to precede Peñalosa going to the canvas.
And 2 weeks later, Rafael won the bantamweight title.
And now it's reverse.
Yes.
Now it's reversed. This landing 23 out of 117 in every round. Huge contrast in the numbers. Huge contrast in approaches to fighting. Certainly augurs in favor of Ponce de Leon.
Well, as far as the effectiveness and clean punches and everything is definitely for Gerry Peñalosa. But Ponce de Leon is just so busy, it keeps him from getting set.
You know, the average American, far removed from his original ethnic heritage, might say to himself, well, if somebody lives in a Mexican neighborhood in Los Angeles and is a Mexican, in all the years I've been there, and he's been there 3 years. And there's a red mark and some swelling under the right eye as well. So vision may become a factor for Daniel Ponce de Leon down the stretch. Coming to the end of the 8th round. They stood their ground and fought toe-to-toe for a while, but now Ponce de Leon for the 2nd time of the fight. He worked on a farm from early childhood, using his body for hard, ongoing, physically taxing work.
And I'm very impressed with his stamina when you look at the volume of punches that he to Peñalosa. Landing that much clean punches, but still he's busy enough to keep the other guy from getting set too much.
What a life experience.
You know, this is something that if he comes through with this good, it's going to make him be a much better fighter at the end, because you have to take time and set up. You're not.
Loses balance, commits. There it is again.
Also blocking punches so he doesn't open up that much.
When he's able to land his shots. Power shots in the 9th round. De Leon 16 out of 86.
And you can't take it away from a guy who's that busy and landed that many clean, effective punches.
Thank you. I wouldn't have argued with you either way, Harold. You're the scorer. Looking for the big knockout.
Surprising himself.
Yeah.
And loving it.
Yeah.
And so Gerry Peñalosa either took the round off, but I haven't given a moment's thought to whether North Carolina beat Michigan State in the NCAA basketball tournament.
Because of the basketball tournament there.
And dry their tears after North Carolina's 81-67 victory. And
Right? Okay,
my alma
so
mater.
it's good to be personal.
Tar Heel born and Tar Heel bred, and when I die, I'm a Tar Heel dead. With that now.
Yeah, I think that De Leon is sort of on.
Looking for punches back now, and believe it or not, his defense has gotten much better. He's punching and looking for punches back.
If there's one thing Daniel Ponce de Leon has proven in this fight, it's that he can take Peñalosa's solid shots. Daniel Ponce de Leon, knockout sensation. Guatemala, Mexico.
That's because they fight in the U.S. so much.
Other parts of the world, and now, you know, European fighters are no longer all stand up straight. Emerges from the Philippines not as a flash and dash speed fighter, but a sledgehammer bomber. And the bottom line is that
never was able.
more accurate, more precise punching. De Leon lasting all the way through 12 rounds while throwing in some rounds 130, 150, 120 punches. An amazing show of boxing variety.
All to the winner by unanimous decision. Still the light featherweight champion of the world, Daniel Ponce de Leon.